So Skype goes down and suddenly there's no more Panel Pal episodes. Pretty suspicious, you ask me. Well, we're looking into alternatives, like Discord's got some weird Craig thing. Craig? A third Panel Pal? He's not on the payroll.
He's recorded. He's done it. Craig, welcome to the Panel Pal podcast. I'm Skull Riot.
And I'm Emmett Stash.
And what a huge pain in the ass this has been since Skype has betrayed us and shut down.
Screw you, Microsoft.
How many years was Skype in use? About 25? And then the one time we need it, I didn't use it for the first 24 years of its existence. And now that I was a regular user, of course it shuts down. Today, we're not messing around because we don't know if this will come out well or if it'll come out at all. We're back on Spider-Man, the new animated series, aren't we?
Yeah, we got we're on episode 4 now.
Nice.
Making way.
Ooh, so previously on Spider-Man, the new animated series, Turbojet fucking sorted him out, mate. The kingpin of crime. Rinsed. The lizard fucking died. That was kind of hardcore. Who's today's vile villain?
I can't actually remember how to pronounce her name. And I don't want to get it wrong.
I'll have a go. I'll try.
Wait, let me search up the pronunciation. No, it's Shikata.
Shikata, the sword of Shikata. So, one thing I noticed immediately, this is not a photocopy of an existing spider villain. She seems to be original.
I don't remember ever seeing. She's like a balance of Craven and almost like Silver Sable in a way.
She was very similar. We see Silver Sable later in the show, and she was very similar. She may have even had the same voice.
It says here, Shikata was originally meant to be Craven the Hunter.
Really?
So I'm confused. Like, why didn't they use Craven then?
You know what? Yeah, that makes absolute sense looking back, considering the dude who hires her is like a hunter who doesn't hunt himself. He's got all like the animal heads on his wall. She talks about honor and how it's dishonorable to capture Spider-Man. Now she wants to kill him to prove she's number one. It was very Craven. It was like if Craven and what's her name? Calypso had a baby.
If they finally had their wedding issue.
Finally. You know what was dead grim? Craven clearly like loves Calypso through the comics. Like after his death, she's fuming that he's dead. And then in 2010, they introduced Craven's wife, who like did Craven's wife know about Calypso? Oh.
It's like Calypso will always be the OG love interest for Craven the Hunter.
Absolutely.
The only person who could steal his heart should be Spider-Man, and that's when he tries to bury him alive.
Yeah.
You know the Chameleon isn't going to be high on that list.
Right, mate. He hates the Chameleon more than we do, and he's related to him.
Did you like how Shikata decapitated the guy in front of all the decapitated animal heads?
Yeah, it's very thematic, very ironic.
They did like all those intense zoom ups on each animal.
Yeah, and the light was like flickering. There was a lot of playing with. Yeah, go ahead.
MJ was saying like, if this is just a way to get me into bedroom, I'm running out.
He defo was though, by the way, wasn't he? Like he was trying to shag her the whole episode.
Oh, that's what even Harry says, where he's like,
yeah, he warns her, but she's got the pepper spray. Ooh, and they've got there was a lot of playing with the light this episode, I noticed. Like, in the scene where Shikata and a boys trap Spider-Man, they've got, like, a net over the roof. So, like, you see the light through it. Like, it was... Every move they make, that moves with them, because it's not drawn. It's computer-generated. So it
I like
tracks.
the nighttime look that the episode had.
Yeah, mate.
This show just looks better whenever it's darker because it gets to hide more of the animation and the
Yeah, it had some of
limitations
the
of 2003.
some of the shitter looking bits aren't as noticeable.
Mate, this Spider-Man is so overpowered, it's insane.
Mate,
He
the
was
second he got
running at
serious.
Mate, he was running at 60 miles per hour,
Yeah.
and then he lifts like a car, he lifts a crane, he lifts whatever nothing can stop him.
Yeah, mate. He's unstoppable in this. That whole beginning bit where he's just casually, he looks like he's jogging after that bus. He's not
It's
putting any
60
real effort in.
It says it on the fun facts. It's like, oh, Spider-Man is running 60 miles.
Like light jog 60 miles, that though.
Wait, I will say though, I love that MJ like acted in this, but that
Actually
set
acted.
it looks so dodgy.
Yeah, this is casting couch level.
This is like John Burns, Superman, and Big Barda sort of stuff. Like Peter walks in and Harry's just sitting there on his chair with like a cassette tape of a VHS tape of fucking of the film.
That was cheeky, I thought, at the start. How they make you think she's arguing with her boyfriend because she still loves Peter. But no, because that's the same guy from the Kingpin episode, isn't it? At the end.
They reuse a lot of
Oh, yeah.
a lot of assets and
Yeah, we've already seen about 4 different Doug Reismans. And we've not yet met the actual Doug, but we've seen about 4 recolours.
I like how like New York has only 2 police officers. It's just always the
Jonah.
same 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
He'd be the
exactly,
oldest character, wouldn't he? In age?
Yeah, defo. Rare that for this show, anyone being over 20.
Yeah, because kids can't relate.
We found out last episode. Oh no, Shikata was like 500, wasn't she? And when
Technically,
she's not
that's why
using
she
the
died.
magic. Yeah, MTV at the end, smashing the sword. Oh, dude, when she was full bore fighting Spidey, and like his costume was all cut to shit.
It was so
Speaking
cool,
of
man.
unstoppable, he is. The second he gets serious, and he's like, "Lady, I'm gonna take you off the streets," and she can't touch him. He just decimates her. Her only hope is to take a hostage, and that even fucks her up.
Yeah, because then he gets really serious about it.
Yeah.
His eyes
Ooh, mate.
squinted.
Fucking
Even
Mary
when he
Jane
caught
again,
the
dude.
sword.
In this continuity now, Mary Jane's been kidnapped by the fucking Green Goblin. She's been... Turbo Jet got hold of her. Poor girl, stop it.
It's also funny how just convenient it all was, like her being hostage in this. Like the guy
Yeah.
came out of nowhere and just immediately coat hanged her.
And it's a
Did
very small world that the fella putting up money for a movie. Like, New York's pretty fucking big, dude. Like, I know it's one city, but there's a lot of dudes in that city. But the man funding her movie just so happens to be the dude who's hired someone to capture Spider-Man, who just so happens to be Mary Jane's best friend as well.
I do I think it was a bit funny how they sort of like treated MJ and like her relationships with everyone here. Because in the last episode, it felt like her and Peter were getting really serious, and then in this, her and Peter pretty much don't interact once.
True. And, like, at the end of the Lizard episode, she kisses Peter. But at the end of this episode, she kisses Spider-Man, and she doesn't know they're the same guy. So it is very Sam Raimi Mary Jane. The cheating bitch. She can't
It's
help
just
it.
so confusing. Like, what does she want? But also, did you notice like there was a lot of Raimi references here? Like when he was fighting the what's her name again?
Shikata.
Shikata. And then he's like doing the upside down kiss thing, but they're not kissing.
Yeah, when he grabs the throat.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh.
And then they kiss. And he kisses MJ, and that's sort of like the upside down kiss scene, except they're standing, and they even do that thing where she looks up at Spidey as he swings off.
True. No way, dude.
I will say though, in my head, I was laughing because you know that bodyguard that Shikata keeps like bashing.
Yeah. Who voiced him?
Was it Clancy Brown? I know Clancy Brown was in the episode, but I can't remember which character.
It must have been, because as I was listening, I was like, I know his voice. And the fellow who played his boss was the fellow who plays Dr. Cox on Scrubs.
Yeah,
Who? I always thought
but,
he'd make a good Jonah Jameson.
but there was a scene, mate, where the guy that Shikata keeps bashing,
Yeah.
when they face each other off again for the second time, and he whips out two guns and he smiles, and in my
Two
head, all
guns, bitch.
that's all I could think about.
Nice.
There's a
She
lot
was
of gore in
actually
this
a bit
for a
shit.
show. Which one? The
But yeah,
Shikata?
this episode was gorier than the one where the lizard, like, you saw more blood in this episode with the woman with a sword than you did from the lizard, like, ripping that man into bits.
But also there was like there was a decapitation. There was she
Yeah.
cuts off the guy's finger.
Oh yeah, you see it just dangle.
Could you imagine someone like watching the '90s show and then going into a coma and then waking up perfectly for this episode and then just seeing like the complete difference in censorship?
Whoa, Spidey nearly hit those pigeons.
I do like the. I think the action here was probably the best in the entire series.
Oh yeah, it was
It
badass,
was
mate.
really, really intense.
I fucking love the bit where Spidey just walks up to her and like palms her, sends her flying. Even goes slow mo as she gets launched.
Did you
And
notice the
that
Bruce
cool,
Lee reference?
where what he was doing with his hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was proper kung fu, because you don't think like, does Spider-Man know karate? He learned it in the Dan Slott run, but don't think they've mentioned that since. Probably for the best. But like, Peter just jumps in and uses his natural agility when he's fighting crime, doesn't he? Especially Tobey Maguire's never went to like Taekwondo to learn how to fight.
It's always like in my head, I'm like, okay, you get bit by a spider, you get powers, and now you know how to dodge anything and punch any way you sort of want. It just comes with the spider.
He'd need to learn like control, wouldn't he? Otherwise, he'd take a villain's head off in one punch.
Do you think web slinging would be way harder than it looks?
Yeah, it'd do
Like,
your biceps in, wouldn't it?
like if you could withstand the
Oh.
your sockets not ripping out of your, you know,
Well,
your
if I can
shoulders or
handle
whatever.
that. Um,
No, but like you know how like Toby like looks a bit iffy for one scene and then he gets the hang of it.
yeah.
Do you reckon that in real life, if you could have those powers, that you'd get the hang of it in one
Probably not in one
scene?
day. But I think doing it enough times. But I think the main threat would be pulling like a bit of a wall down when you swing past something. Like if you web a wall in the middle, for example, where it's not as structurally sound as a corner, you might pull all the bricks out with you.
What about if he like gets an apartment window and he's trying to yank
Yeah,
his web?
yeah, you'd drag it down, wouldn't he?
Someone just gets a glass shot and like right in their eye.
Dude, in Marvel Knights Spider-Man, Venom does exactly that. He like casts webs out in like a 360-degree thing and yanks it all off at once. So there's like basically a building's worth of debris falling onto the people below that Spider-Man's got to then save. So you'd have to be very fucking careful that you didn't yank a building down, especially with
There's gonna
spider
be like
strength.
surely there's a villain that could be made of someone who was a unsuspecting victim to Spider-Man's web slinging.
What are them fucking Batman idiots called? Where like one's got a boot print on the face and one's got like a batarang embedded into his head. Do you know what I mean? They're called like the losers.
I've never heard of.
Oh, dude, there's a squad of
I'm
Batman
searching this up now.
villains. I say villains in like fucking asterisks because they're a bunch of losers. But it's like where Batman's beat them up and left them disfigured, so they've all teamed up, and one's got like a permanent boot print on his face from where Batman kicked his head in. So yeah, you do like Spider-Man tore the wall off my building, and my landlord kicked me out, blaming me, and now. Well, even in this
I mean,
show, Spidey's had some destruction. Like, didn't he web in one episode? It might have been the lizard one. He tore the tires off of an armored van that then careened into another van and exploded.
dude, what about like when he's web slinging
Yeah,
and he shoots a web out and it hits someone's head who's just standing there at the balcony?
yeah, pulls them up.
So like, then he pulls them off, yeah. Mind you, his webbing is like super strong as well. Like it could rip your skin off. Remember
Yeah,
when
mate, you'd be
he I
bald
think in
after that.
Spectacular Spider-Man he webbed Sabretooth's face and then he's like, no, don't rip it off. And then as soon
Yeah,
as he said that, he just rips it off.
yeah. He starts screaming. He's like, I told you.
Yeah,
I
but then he
begged
blames
you.
Spider-Man. He's
Well,
like,
same as
I'm
if
gonna
said,
get
yeah,
you.
then he did.
Yeah, I'm like, but it's like he
How can
literally
Spider-Man
told
do
you
this?
don't do it.
Friggin' moron.
It's like
What
that bike
about if...
riding meme where he sticks a stick
Yeah,
in
yeah. How
the
can
wheel.
Spider-Man do this? What about, like, if one of his webs... In the Amazing Spider-Man movie, he does web a dude's mouth and nose, doesn't he? And goes right up to him when he's trying to find Uncle Ben's killer. And then Spidey has to, like, rip it so he can breathe through it. It'd be so easy for Spider-Man to just, like, web someone's mouth and nose shut and just leave them to suffocate.
Wait, what about if he's got like severe allergies and he can't breathe through his nose? And then Spidey's just like left him there.
Grim, mate.
What did you think of the trio of this episode? Peter, Harry, MJ.
This continues to be probably the best, like, funnest Harry Osborn's ever been. Like, he's genuinely funny in this show. He seems like a laugh. You can understand why all these women might want him, not just for the money. I'm used to Harry being such like a mopey, moany little get. Yeah, my dad didn't like me. Ooh, my dad's now dead because of Spider-Man. Ooh, it's like, shut up, dude. Go and have a bit of fun.
He's leap years ahead of the Raimi Harry.
Yeah. Raimi Harry just got absolutely pissed in Spidey 2.
How's that,
Literally,
brother?
in that right, brother? He's just he's chugging wine by the friggin' pint. This one is a fun dude, and he backs up his buddies. I couldn't see this one doing what Spider-Man 3 Harry does, like forcing Mary Jane to break up with Peter and that. In fact, in this show, Harry kind of like develops a bit. Like later on, I'm got this spoilers. In the second Electro episode, Spider-Man beats Electro, and Harry like offers his hand to help him up, as if he's like, maybe Spider-Man's not who I think he is. So this one develops better than most Harry Osborns ever do.
So this show does a better job of adapting Harry, MJ, and Peter than the Raimi
Actually, yeah,
movies.
I can see this Harry and this Peter actually genuinely being friends, not just because they're both losers who need someone else. Because in the Raimi films, they are both kind of like bottom of the food chain, and I feel like they only really hang out because no one else wants to hang out with them.
Yeah, because I mean, like even Harry treats him like shit in Spider-Man 1.
Yeah, he
Where he's
doesn't back
like,
him up when Flash is
Peter,
beating him
why
up.
would I even want to know that?
Yeah, and then he steals his line with his bed. And then, well, Peter, that was amazing. I was totally ready to jump in when you needed me, though. No, you fucking way.
I do like just the fact that they've got like their own apartment, they live there, they hang out. It's like one of the very few Spider-Man adaptations where they actually feel like, young adults.
Yeah.
Because we don't
And
really get that much.
they actually hang out. Like, you don't often see Peter just hanging out with Harry. It's normally like he goes to a social, he's trying to get to class and he bumps into Harry.
Like in this episode, they were both together where MJ was doing her scene.
Yeah. Which means he probably said to him before the episode, Harry probably said to him, like, do you want to come Mary Jane's thing? And Peter thought, yeah, they're my friends, I'll do that. This Peter's got friends? No way, dude.
And I just like comparing this show to like Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. It's night and day for me with the way that it's just handled. Like Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, the dynamics don't feel real at all. This feels like I'm watching like an actual sitcom of characters that I like.
Yeah. I've banished Friendly Neighborhood from my mind, but I do remember it was all very forced and the Peter didn't shut up and he was always... I was thinking then more like, I think Spectacular, you see Peter and Harry as kind of, not as close as these two are in this, but the defo mates, because like he goes to his house after school and that.
Yeah, yeah, they're definitely more mates than like. I'd say this depicts them the best, than Spectacular, than 90s.
In the 90s, they actually did a good job adapting it. Like, he starts off as just Flash Thompson's mate, and they don't actually become friends until after season 1. He's even a bit
Like,
begrudging when he offers Peter to move in the Hobgoblin episodes. He's like, listen, my dad won't let Flash move in with me, and you're straight A student, so...
yeah, and even like with I just lost my train of thought.
It'll come
Fuck.
back. Choo-choo. Why is there no
So
train Spidey villain?
it's 'cause I'm trying to figure out the Discord last night. It's
It's
it's so
rattled
late.
us, dude. Craig, have you got anything to add? Did you watch the episode? I see.
Fuck, what was I gonna
Sure.
say, mate?
Ah, Um,
It's something to do with
the
Harry. Oh, obviously, it's gonna do with Harry.
the movie producers were defo trying to fuck Mary Jane. The whole point she got cast, and he kept like making time for her because he was defo baiting her up. But in the bit where she finds his head and she's like, "Whoa, what are you doing under there? You okay, dude?" And he's like, "Yeah." She can't see that his head's chopped off, but she can
There's
see that
the
his face
where's the
isn't
blood?
moving. His eyes are wide open. Where's the blood? Exactly, the blood would have been under the couch. You'd see the blood, certainly.
Also, I remembered finally.
Oh,
I
go
was gonna
ahead.
say though,
Good job.
is in the 60s, I got the impression that Harry and Flash were more like equals in a sense. Whereas in the 90s show, like Harry was a fucking loser.
And he's his little orbiter in here.
Yeah, he was so, especially like when he first appeared. I remember doing the watchalongs and like Flash would do something and be like, "Yeah, that's great, Flash."
Wow, you
Then
look just
Flash
like
would be
Spider-Man, Flash. Yeah, an attack of
Can
the
you web me up,
Spider
Flash? Can you
Slayers,
web
dude.
me up?
He is a proper... In the 90s cartoon, Harry is a bit of a bitch for everyone, though, isn't he? So as well, but my dad...
That's with the 90s show and like sentences that start with my something. My father.
My father... They've all got...
My dad.
My weight. All because of my weight. Smythe, get the scale.
I love just him trying to climb that ladder, and the only
His
noise he
dad's
could
just
muster
like,
was.
his dad's like, Willie, I'm leaving.
Yeah, he's like,
I'm going.
is that my
Come on.
fucking son?
Who got it worse, mate? The animated series is Mr. Fisk, or Netflix Daredevil's Mr. Fisk.
I mean, could you imagine, like, instead of having an abusive dad, your dad's like, "Oh yeah, son, join me in crime," and then he was so embarrassed by your unathleticism that he's just like, "Nah, fuck you, mate.
It's
You're
like, fuck.
staying there." It's
He's like
gotta hurt.
Wilson's stick, but he just gives up on him.
I I don't think we'll ever top a '90s Kingpin, like in terms of power he had.
Oh, mate. He was 2% fat, 98% muscle.
But even like the building he basically lived in.
Yeah, the Chrysler was his domain, mate. The whole, like,
Do you
absolute
reckon, like in the
weapon.
'90s, like continuity that him and Daredevil ended up having like their own adventures with Born Again and Last Rites and shit like that?
I would have loved to have seen it, dude. Like, why have we never had Daredevil, the animated series? Is it just because he's religious and they don't want to portray that nowadays? Because, mate, we've never...
I know the '90s had a cancelled one.
Has there ever been, honestly, a adaptation of Stiltman? And,
No,
like,
the closest we've gotten is the fucking stilts in Melvin's room.
yeah, so like when you're reading the comics, normally you can take you can take a voice from like a cartoon or even a movie and read the character in that voice. But you have to cast a load of Daredevil characters because
Yeah, he's got no
there's
one.
no voice.
But then even oddly enough, like people say they hear Charlie Cox's voice, but in my head it just doesn't, read with
I
his
had to
voice.
force that. I do now, but I had to force it.
I just
When
think
I
because his voice
started
is so
reading,
like soft.
yeah, he's got that weird like sexy whisper, doesn't he?
Yeah, but it's like hard to like recapture that in your head, I guess. Like for me it is. Like for me,
You've you've got to
like
like revise, like go and rewatch a few scenes,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
carry it
Or
with you.
like the only time I think is when he's screaming is like as when I can hear his voice, just because
Ah,
just because of the obvious iconic
oh yeah,
ending.
this city beat you.
Yeah, that's when if we get Discord working, that's what we'll do to Microsoft.
Or when he tells Fisk at the end of season 1, take your shot. But then like
That's
Daredevil in the
so
comics, the disparity as well, dude. When you're reading, I've been reading classic Daredevil again this week. Yesterday I read a shit ton, and he's flying through the air and he's being like, "Whoa, Double D, careful with that Billy Club or Mama's favourite fucking devil boy will go splat on that jive turkey concrete." And you're like, I'm meant to be Charlie Cox saying this.
Yeah, you know what you gotta do that. You have to suffer through the She-Hulk episode a few times just to get that sort of Charlie Cox voice.
The only She-Hulk episode worth watching, dude, just for a little bit more Daredevil.
Yeah, I mean, like, and to be honest, like, I thought like his action scenes weren't even bad in the show.
In She-Hulk, where like she
Yeah,
smashes the
and I
floor and
think
he like runs, keeps up with the crumble.
yeah, and then even like when they do that mini hallway scene fight,
Oh yeah, yeah, boss.
I thought it was the action's actually probably better than Born Again.
Yeah.
It was more fluid.
You can see him. You can see him move, unlike in Born Again, where he's just running over buildings and a steam vent just happens to let off a wall of mist so you can't see.
I know we let that go, but I guess that was a massive red flag from the first 10 fucking minutes.
Yes. What was
It's
it?
just yeah,
There was 3 episodes of Born Again worth watching. The very first, oh no, I'd say 4 actually. 1 and 2. The one where he beats the shit out of Muse in the subway. and the second to last one, I think, were the only episodes we actually enjoyed.
It's annoying though because like with the Muse episode,
Yeah.
that was only like the last 10 minutes was enjoyable. The rest was just whatever.
Yeah, we knew he was going to put the fucking costume back. Wasn't that like episode 6 as well? We watched 6 episodes where he didn't become Daredevil.
Well, what pisses me off is like they'll say like, "Oh, we named it Born Again because the show's revived," but then they have
Very
a whole
meta.
arc of Daredevil, being born again. Again, this is like the second
Again?
time he's done this.
Oh, no, I've recently been watching all the Netflix, haven't I? And I forgot about this point, but at the start of The Defenders, he's given up. He's no longer Daredevil.
Third
Because,
fucking time.
yeah, this is the third time, because I remember saying when we were talking about Born Again, I remember saying, like, has comic Daredevil ever given up? Because Netflix Daredevil's given up. But it's like, no, this is third time now. Because his life was so shit after Elektra died. Because, like, he basically ruined his life for her, and then she died. He gives up. And then it takes until, like, episode 6 of Defenders for him to get in the costume again.
I'm so tired of the how like Daredevil always has to have this stupid arc in the shows of like, oh, I quit. I don't want to be Daredevil anymore. And then he'll learn that he needs to be Daredevil. And then he goes, oh, I quit again. I hate being Daredevil. And then he learns the same thing again and again.
Oh, his origin in season 1 was so cool. How he decided he was sick of hearing all the crime going on and went out to fucking do something about it. But that doesn't change when he stops being Daredevil. He can still hear all the people getting hurt. So he should still be out there.
He actively ignores it in the show.
In Born Again, yeah, he blasts his shitty vinyls, doesn't he, to not have to hear the screaming going on? What do you reckon this Daredevil's up to? The new animated series Daredevil?
What do you think this Daredevil would be doing?
Well, he's not helping Spidey, but to be fair, I don't think any episodes are in Hell's Kitchen.
Do you reckon that this would be Ben Affleck's Daredevil? Because like the Michael Clark
Must be, because it was Big Clarky, wasn't it? Who it turns out wasn't in Pulp Fiction, after all. But anyway, yeah, we sorted a timeline, didn't we? From Fisk went to jail at the end of Daredevil.
Prison?
Yeah, he went to jail after Daredevil because they had evidence of his involvement with that murder. Then he got back out, probably because Wesley took the brunt of the blame there, didn't he? In the Daredevil 2003 movie.
He was such
Director's
a dick,
cut.
Wesley.
Oh, yeah, mate. So, what's this Daredevil doing? Like, Shikata was very hand-like, was she not?
In a way, the mystical, like, the aging shit in the way that she almost just dissolves.
Yeah, the rejuvenation. She turned into, like, energy. No, I was going to say powder, but yeah, she turned into, like, energy at the end. Very mystic samurai, very Daredevil.
Could you imagine if they threw in, like, a little reference to that?
So the hand.
Like, if she... just, like, saying something, like, maybe better backstory.
Ooh, yeah, because we don't actually learn dick all, dude.
Have an old guy standing in the crowd at the end fight, and he's like a
Like
blind
an old
old man.
guy. Yeah, mate.
Yeah, with the stick.
It's stick.
I mean, this Daredevil will be wearing leather, wouldn't he? Like tight leather.
Yeah. 2003, dude, yeah. It'd be
such a weird choice.
It'd be Ben Affleck, he'd be blind. Does any episodes take place in a courthouse? I don't think we see a courthouse, do we?
Do they deem that like too old for the young viewers?
Yeah, that's why Daredevil doesn't show up, because he's 26, and that's just past the threshold. Unlucky.
I mean, I could definitely see like this Daredevil go through Born Again.
Yeah, mate. His life's already dead shit, and he's only got Foggy.
Karen's like an afterthought to him, though.
Yeah,
In
Karen's
this
like
one.
trying to shag him, and he's just actively going no.
I do miss watching that one, like the director's cut,
Oh, it was
because that one's
boss.
actually pretty decent to watch. I love when Foggy has the basketball. He misses it completely and just goes swish.
Yeah,
And then Matt does it fucking first time. No
yeah, he
one
doesn't
bats
even.
an eye to that shit.
I was gonna say it doesn't even look, but he couldn't look anyway. So
But like by their reaction, that means that he does it all the time. So
yeah,
Foggy just
just get
accepts
it.
that. Did you
What
like that rain scene where like that's how he sees?
I thought it was clever because it would be making a ton of little like noises only he could really hear, wouldn't it? So it would be like if everything's making noise at once, it would be like he could see everything. I think it makes more sense than the Netflix one where it's a world of fire. The hell's that meant to mean?
I mean, that was pretty weird. Like when you see Claire's face.
Yeah. At least like the
What if
radar
like
sense, the noise makes sense with
what
the
if
rain.
when the rain hits Electra's face, if she's like just completely butched and ugly, and then Matt's just like, oh, am I?
Oh, I gotta go. He does run away after that, doesn't
It's like he just thinks to himself, Foggy was right.
he? Where would you rank Shikata compared to other original villains for the series?
So far, I think even though if we ignore that she's basically Craven, um, probably my favorite. Like
Was
I think
pretty
that
good,
it
wasn't
was
it?
just like the most interesting one, and even the episode, probably my favorite in the whole show.
Ooh. How do you feel about mysticism in Spider-Man in general? Because he's obviously a very science fiction character. He gets his powers from a science accident, nuclear radiation.
I can handle it
Radio.
in doses, but I don't like the spider totem story. I thought was stupid.
True.
Like when I hate whenever it's like
Destiny.
when they hint. Yeah, I don't like the destiny thing.
I do agree.
It
I feel like the point is that he's just a normal. They want him to be the relatable superhero, don't they? Like he could have been anyone. It just so happened to have been Peter.
it's so weird how like they'll either try to hammer home how relatable he is, or make him the most unrelatable character in the world.
Yeah, modern Peter. I don't want to relate to. Thanks.
Even
Oh
like,
no,
oh, his
cooked
parents
again.
were spies, and then oh, he's got a sister, sort of, kinda, who maybe isn't his sister and maybe a chameleon.
Messy dude.
Could you imagine ever meeting another Paul again and just not
Jesus Christ.
immediately despising the person just because of their name?
The whole JMS run starts with Morland, doesn't it? Which is like a mystical threat. It goes into all this spider totem shit and like Shathra, and he seems to go to Doctor Strange with every problem he's got, even though he's got like he's more matey with like Human Torch or Daredevil. But
Oh, okay. What I got another question for
oh
about
god,
Spidey comics. Do you reckon that if Peter and MJ were to get back together, do you reckon it's like too far gone, or there's
I
still
do think
enough
Marvel
there?
have thoroughly obliterated it now. Like the only way forward would be if it turns out the whole thing was Mysterio. It's all been an illusion. Ever since it cuts
Another
back, right?
get out of jail fucking free card from Mysterio.
It like it jumps back to right before Peter takes his mask off during Civil War on the stage. Turns out on his way to Washington, he got kidnapped by Mysterio, and he's been trapped in status ever since.
Do you keep up with the other Ultimate books?
No.
Because I
I've
was gonna
tried
ask.
with the last Ultimates issue I read was the one with Power Man, and I don't think I read any of the others. I'm waiting for like Ultimate Daredevil.
Well, I was gonna ask, like, do you reckon there's any chance that the Maker would cause like a crisis on Infinite Earths?
Yeah, I would say so, because what the fuck are the 616 heroes doing? Last they saw, the Maker escaped, and then did they just think, he got away?
Yeah,
Like,
and then Reed was such an idiot when he said, like, when the Maker asked, like, would you, if you could do it all again, would you kill me or something like that?
yeah.
And then he's like, yeah. Why would you say that?
Because now he's gonna go. He then went and found another Reed Richards and fucked his life over so much he's now Doom. So yeah, it's like, dude, good hero and Rich Richards.
God, fucking Sue didn't like Sue get insanely ill in that and then die?
Yeah, got like space AIDS and fucking died out of they all the Fantastic Three just got owned by the Maker. You know what he does as well? The only thing he did was change an equation on a chalkboard. Like he sneaks in when they're all asleep, rubs out a number and puts a different number, and that's what kills the Fantastic Four.
It's,
I think
I mean, like,
the
I'm
whole build
hoping he
up.
can do it. Like, do a Crisis. Because I think Marvel right now actually just needs a reboot.
True, dude. Like the main universe is fucked. It's too.
It really is.
It's not even that it's gone on too long. It's just that the ideas they're spitting into it are just shit.
It's so sad though. Because, like, DC, I think, does it best. Even though they do a shit ton of reboots and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they do, like, the one-off stories, like their one-shots that are so prominent. And it allows for these, like, more different ideas to be put to paper, but at the same time, it doesn't affect the main continuity. Whereas Marvel's, like, every shitty idea or every big idea, no matter how bad it is or good, becomes canon in the 616.
Marvel is still running on that stupid ideology of outrage sells the books. And like they think the more they piss you off, the more you'll stick around to get pissed off. But I don't know about everyone else, but for me it's just become, well, why the fuck would I read something that's just gonna annoy me?
Honestly, like, DC right now for me is, it's not hard, and there's not even many titles I read from DC, but they're leap years ahead of Marvel.
Oh. I've been
Nightwing
reading
has been consistently good.
oh,
Superman's good. Uh, Justice League Unlimited is good. I read the first 2 issues of New Gods, and that was pretty good. Aquaman
I've
issue 1
always
was
been
good.
I've always been proper interested in the New Gods, but I've only ever read the first couple issues of Mr. Miracle because I think he's like my favourite one. Because I think it's sick. How like it's so creative having this idea of him being the god of escape. It's just a cool
Yeah,
idea.
but he couldn't escape being cucked by Superman, unfortunately.
Oh no! Oh, it's Superman. He's
Even
like
wait,
obvious,
so wait. Her and Superman didn't even properly get to filming in that issue. So
just a
he
foreplay.
got just he got cucked by, like, a normal person.
Christ. Apocalypse. This is why you don't go to Apocalypse.
Like, it's just, I just love that image of Darkseid sitting in his fucking recliner, like having a glass of wine or some shit, just lives rent free in my head. It's so good.
Watch this.
There's like the fucking popcorn ready, seat for Mr. Miracle next to him.
Oberon's like, Megan.
I will say though that reading that New Gods issue 1 from this year, I think it
Yeah.
came out. It at the start was pretty jarring because there's so much information thrown at you, and when a comic like just dumps a shitload of exposition on me, my brain sort of turns off
Yeah.
because it's just too much to remember in the space of one page.
Was it on about like the war between New Genesis and Apocalypse and like how they swap suns and that? Or was it
No,
on
it was
about
more I
like
think to do
the
with
deeper shit like the Black Racer?
it was more to do like it was sort of building up the birth of the planets.
Oh.
Because even like when I read Wonder Woman issue 1 and they went really in detail with it all, I was still trying to like get a feel of everything and the entire lore of it and the logic, and it was like sometimes when it's just too much information, I just can't handle it.
Oh, as a question. Would you introduce Shikata into 616 as an actual character? They don't do this much anymore, I've noticed.
It's because it sucks because now it's just like the comics only care about the movies and then the movies are poorly adapting the comics.
It's like a snake eating its own tail, and it's just making itself worse because it's following. The comics are trying to become the shit adaptation of itself. Like, all of a sudden there's a new Thunderbolts book led by Bucky.
Yeah. Red
Even though,
Guardians there.
even though classic Thunderbolts is genuinely boss, you got Bagley on art, and it's about the Masters of Evil pulling like the ultimate con.
Well, I mean, like I think should definitely be better than who's that new character Hellgate
That
coming out
looks like a
soon.
Wonder Woman villain to me. That doesn't suit Spidey at all.
But even like it should be better than Itsy Bitsy.
Yeah. You could even, as we said, we could tie it to the hand.
But mate, I would not want Joe Kelly writing her
Oh no,
because
mate. I'm on about when
her
me and
like
you're on the book.
well, because like if Joe Kelly wrote her, um, her like high honor dialogue would be substituted for just his thinking of how kids talk. It should be like, what would she say? Like when the guy was talking about not when she was saying that she wasn't going to kill Spider-Man for money.
He'd go, what the Sigma?
Wait, I can't fucking stand his writing, man. It's so horrible. When I
It wouldn't.
read, I
I
didn't
can't kill
show it in my.
Spider-Man. It wouldn't be for real, no cap.
And then Harry's like talking about that shady producer. He's like, he's got mad Riz MJ. Please watch out. Because I didn't show it
Don't
in my
worry,
issue
Paul's
2
going with
review.
me.
Because in
You
issue
what?
2, that's when he says Riz. And I didn't
Oh
show the panel, but
Christ.
then in my last room, like, fuck it, this writing sucks.
Yeah.
I'm calling HR because you're rizzing the boss. He wasn't even like he wasn't even trying to say anything remotely rizzy like. He was just saying that he's fucking fucked in the head. Trauma.
Jesus
That's hard.
H, dude.
Where do we go from now, mate? For ASM?
Well, what we do is back to basics. We detonate the time bomb and we blast Spidey. Get onto this. Back to high school, where he can make friends with a diverse new cast of. No,
We got
that's
Genki Ned Leeds, then we got
yeah,
Gwen Stacy Betty Brant, then we got
of course. Zendaya.
Just
Needs
Zendaya.
Zendaya. Uh,
I'm
I'm
sorry,
going to
but that
stick with
Flash
Ultimate.
nonsense is horrible.
Oh yeah, we shit, mate.
Well, would you introduce Shikata into the books?
I think it can't go any worse than it has been. Like, we can, there's many. This is just me, like, knowing all this old fucking characters who are made special for cartoons and shit. But I don't know why they don't do it more often nowadays. Like, Harley Quinn was from the cartoon, and she's obviously huge now. Renee Montoya was from the cartoon, and she's now a big character in DC. But you would think writers who would have grown up on, like, the animated series would have tried to introduce Terry Lee or something.
What's annoying though is a lot of the people in charge now
Yeah,
could be like pro MJ and Peter, considering that's probably what they should have grown up with.
yeah,
But for some reason, they hate MJ.
yeah. They're getting blocked by
Also, I
Nick Lowe, aren't
checked
they?
the. Sorry.
Isn't it Nick Lowe, like the editor, blocking them from actually doing it? I remember Dan Slott saying after his run that there's no actual mandate that Peter can't be with Mary Jane, but there is one saying
They
they
couldn't
can't be
be
married.
married.
So they just think, sod it, why bother?
It's so
But
stupid,
then
man.
Nick Spencer's run was like hailed for finally having them boyfriend girlfriend again. Even if they're not married, they could at least be together. But it's absolutely poison now, though, after all this Paul shit.
Mate, how has Wally West grown up before fucking Peter?
He's got
Doesn't
a
make
family, he's
sense at
got
all.
kids, he's like the multiverse's hero.
So Peter should have had? Should have had respect, should have had a
Yeah.
family, should have been married.
In
Also,
every relevant video that I've made, I've had nothing but praise for Spider Girl because it lets Peter grow in the way he should have been growing since the 80s.
he's meant to be like mid-20s, isn't he, by now? And he still feels like a 16-year-old?
Yes, he talks and acts like a child. He gets fucking owned everywhere, mate. Probably going to be back
But
living with Aunt May before long.
but for the solicitations for the new, like, issues of Spidey,
Yeah,
I went to the latest one they've done, which is the Amazing Spider-Man issue 8, which comes out in July.
yeah.
Do you know what the blurb says?
Ooh.
This is for
Can
the
I
Hellgate
guess?
story?
Can I guess?
Yeah, a
Hmm.
little.
Right. Hellgate. Hellgate. Okay, so Spidey fails his driving test, and Aunt May has to drive him to prom.
It's just
Am I close?
he's just there awkward. He's not even like a part of the school.
Yeah, he's 26 still, but he's like,
He just
I never got to go to my
stands
prom. And he walks up to
stands
some
there in the
kids
corner.
and he goes, Riz! He just shouts Riz at a bunch of kids. One of
And then
one
the
of these
kids like
kids,
say how much he sucks.
yeah, except one who backs him up. And do you know who that kid is, my friend? Kamala
Genki
Khan.
Ned Leeds. Oh no, no.
Go on, what
And
happens
then
in Hell's Gate?
he goes to the bank the next day where her dad's there and then talks about her non-stop.
And then the dad goes, I had a lovely customer right before you. Paul, his name was. We all love Paul. We gave him the money for free.
Yeah. And then when Peter's like, so can I please check my account? And then he goes, oh, Mr. Parker, you've nothing.
And he goes,
And
why don't
then
you
he's
ask
got
that nice Paul man for some money? I'm
yeah.
sure he's got it to spare.
He's like, well, can I at least get the free toaster? And he's like, oh, sorry, that was an old thing.
Paul took all the toaster.
Yeah, we just gave it all to him.
Go ahead.
But
What actually
it
happens in
says, in
Hell's
all
Gate?
capitals,
Oh,
"Time to die, Spider-Man."
he's just died 8 times, didn't he? 9
Yeah.
times.
And then it goes, "The city watches as Spider-Man takes the worst beating of his life.
Christ, on
What
telly.
can Spider-Man do to rally? There must be something."
He's gonna cry, probably. Hobgoblin's gonna save him.
This
Looks like
fucking
I got here just in
redemption arc.
time. Kingsley. Is it
So,
Kingsley or
the
is it
hell
Yorick? Because he's got the wings and no glider.
No, it's Kingsley because of the issue 1.
Ah, sick dude. Cool.
But so, um, the whole Hell's Gate story is just another excuse to beat the shit out of Spidey. It's
Yeah.
just fucking
In
Are you
public as well.
serious? Oh my god.
I read the other day. This blew my mind, this dude. Spectacular Spider-Man, one of the annuals. And it was the one where Harry's just died and Peter like relives the Osborn family legacy through like some weird machine that messes with his brain. And there's one bit where one of Osborn's goblin nests blows up to like cover his evidence, and it sets fire to the next door building. And the firemen that turn up are like, "Spidey, give us a hand, man!" And they're like, "Oh yeah, go Spidey!" Like they're cheering him on. And I was like, "What?" Blew my mind. The public servicemen not only accepting Spidey's help, but they're talking about how cool he is for helping them. I was like, yeah.
Instead of the usual, like,
Hey, get out of here,
fucking menace
menace. You're
down.
going to ruin it. He saved the little boy, and the mother didn't spit on him.
Didn't the mother not thank Spidey when he saved the kid in Spider-Man 1? Or in Spider-Man 2?
The movie.
Remember when
But when
he
Peter
saved
saves him.
I can't remember if it was when Peter saves the kid from the burning building in Spider-Man 2, and the parents just, like, didn't acknowledge him at all.
I think they look at him as if to say cheers, but they don't actually like give him a hug or nothing. And then
Did the man
the
just
woman in
risked his whole life?
yeah. And then in Spider-Man 1 where he does save the baby, I think she does say thanks, but then the police try and arrest him. But not coming back, Chief. And then he goes back in and the Goblin terrifies him. Jump scare from the Green Goblin.
Mate, as a kid, that fucking freaked me out.
No one says no to me. He's boss.
And then the
And
transition to him, like,
yeah, he's
you know,
unhinged in the elevator, yeah. He's like twitching. Oh, mate.
what
That's
does he
it.
say to Harry? I
We're
can't remember what the
rewatching him.
quote. Where he's like, "Do what you have to in there, then."
He's like, yeah, she's beautiful. They're all beautiful. Until they're sniffing after your trust fund like rabid wolves.
A word of the wise to mine. Was it like not so?
About your little girlfriend. Do what you got to with her, then broom her fat. He's like slipping into the goblin voice.
He fucking slams it.
Yeah.
And then
And then,
oh, but MJ was like, "Thanks for sticking up for me."
yeah.
And he's like,
And Harry
"I'm a
backs
black
up
kid,
his
be
dad.
half the man."
Mate, Harry turns around and he's like, that's my father. He's awesome.
Yeah, I'm lucky if I'll be half the man. Is it ever said what's happened to his mum?
No, not in the Raimi movies. But
I
you don't
like
often
to
hear about it anyway, do
assume
you?
she
Like,
died.
well, we thought that about 616, and then she apparently come back after friggin' 70 years, didn't she? In Ultimate, though, you see her die. Norman does kill her when he first goes goblin.
Yeah, yeah, because she was even pretty quiet in the start of that series when they were at the dinner and shit
Yeah, I
like
don't think
that.
she got any dialogue. And then Spectacular was weird because it had her, but she never spoke.
I can't remember if she was there that one time where he was like happy going to the football team, and then she just sort of sat there in the dinner table.
She just sits at the table looking at him, yeah, and she never actually says a word after all of it. Very strange. And then we don't know about the Raimi one, so we don't know about this one.
It's just Mendel Strom. It's taken over.
Dr. Strom, yes. Robot master himself, dude. I need to read them novels, mate. The fact, like, not only is it Jack Murdoch who's moaning about his leg, but then Hank Pym is at Dr. Octopus's exposition. Obviously, Namor, the Submariner, at the Bugle.
It's so weird to think that, like, with the novels as canon, if you count them,
Yeah.
it's like one of the most fully fleshed out Marvel worlds we've got in a while.
They've even went so far as to create their own villains. Spider-Man 2, the novel starts with him fighting some dude in like a robot worm who's not actually like from the comics, he's just some guy.
Like
And
then hasn't the game take inspiration from that?
oh yeah, for the big spider slayer, dude.
Where the fuck did they keep that one?
I don't even know.
Where like
But before,
burst out of the building?
yeah, before we get off, while I'm on with these novels, there's a really good scene in the Spider-Man 2 one of Mary Jane meeting Jonah Jameson, and like he's talking to her about like what it means to have status, such as his son John, and how she shouldn't let him down, and how he knows all about her from how she used to go out with Harry Osborn because he went the same club as Norman. And you're like, holy shit, they're fleshing out these characters. Yeah.
The way they had the same club
What?
thing.
Yeah. He talks about how like he recognizes Mary Jane because of all the Osborn shit that went on. And as I was reading it, I was like,
cool.
holy shit, dude, they're actually like putting in the work. Because it's written
Wait,
by Peter David, you know.
no fucking.
Yeah, dude. The novelization of Spider-Man 2 by Peter fucking David of 2099 fame.
Wait, it's that's such an obscure throwback. That was like the spectacular Spider-Man magazine where you see like Jonah and Norman properly in the same club.
Yeah. Well, Peter David knows what he's doing, doesn't he?
I'd trust Peter David like with anything.
Yeah, mate.
It's a
Even as
shame that I think
modern.
he's a bit ill.
Yeah, he keeps asking for like GoFundMe's because he's got something up with him. But even as 2014, 2099 run was serviceable. It was good for the time, especially.
Plus, I love that panel where in Spider-Man 2099 where he's got Lila transforming different personalities and shit. And
Yeah,
then she
mate.
becomes Aunt May. And he says, kill that one.
Yeah. I love the one in like in his 2014 run where Liz finds out he finds out that he's Spider-Man, so in his dream sequence he throws her out the window. Ledge.
Does
So, God.
I was gonna ask, like, not to get too spoilers. If it's in the first volume, I'll probably avoid the spoiler. Does Miguel's like fiance stay in the book?
What was the name, dude? In the classic, the original Spider-Man 2099.
Yeah, like,
Yes.
does she appear in Beyond It?
Yeah. Yeah. She, something quite significant happens to her a bit later on.
Oh, I won't read the latest stuff, so it's alright.
Oh, do you want me to just tell you?
Yeah, I'll stick to the volume one.
Ah, well. Um, oh no, this is still in volume one, where like the first like 56 issues.
Oh, maybe I'll wait off just for now.
Okay, I won't. I
Just for
won't spoil anything, but yeah, I'm trying to remember her name. But yeah, she stays in it. But there's a few times where like he's got his eye on other beds as well.
that dirty bastard.
Yeah, mate. Just uh, don't watch my video about Venom across the Spider-Verse because there's spoilers in there for what happens.
Oh, we were.
Oh,
That'll be the one
oh.
Skull Ryan video I cannot watch.
In fact, I'll delete it right now.
I'll go back to watching the Rose one again.
Oh yeah, mate. Put that on repeat. Loop it.
Where would you rank this episode out of the
Well,
four we've seen?
to be fair, it's hard to beat Turbo Jet. I think for nostalgia's purposes, I really liked the Kingpin episode just because that dude is prime Kingpin. But this one had the plot, it had the action. This one was probably top.
Did you like how it almost tried to? Would you count it as like Spider-Man killing? Because like technically she would have been dead anyway, if not
He
for
he
the
did not
thing.
know that it would evaporate her. He probably just thought it would take her powers away.
Yeah, just like MJ said until she
Yeah.
did the
She goes, the sword gives her
extreme
power,
version.
not life.
But he didn't even really
I wouldn't.
care.
To be fair, he did give her several chances.
I do like when she said like, "Wait," and he's like, "Done,
Yeah,
boy."
she feels the fear now, innit? I loved when he finds her on like the rooftop where she's meditating, and she's like, "This isn't about money anymore. It's about honor." And he goes, "Ah, as in, it would be an honor to kill you, Spider-Man." And she goes, "Exactly." Honorable. Spidey's really good. Having villains that are like honorable hunters.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, I do like how in this episode it's sort of the way it sort of made him have that conflict of trying to grasp the I might need to kill.
He was
And
willing to for Mary Jane, weren't he?
yeah, he was. Yeah.
Like the second he was joking around with it, then the second Mary Jane was in trouble, he was like, "Okay, this has gone far enough," and he just starts beating the shit out of it, like merciless. That slow mo bit where like she knocks him away and he webs the lamppost and swings back in. That was hardcore, dude.
Even when he lifts the car, and
Yeah,
then it's just sheer strength.
the whole beginning bit showing how Spidey's not to be fucked with. Sprinting after the bus, grabbing the metal girder, fucking diving into the train, sorting out the thug, and then diving back out.
I love the way he moves in this. It's so like comic booky, especially like the Todd McFarlane sort of 90s, 80s era.
Yeah, he's quite he's quite spidery, and he like when you see him crawling dead fast on a building, and he's not like running like a human, he is spider crawling, getting raw speed up.
So where would you rank this Spider-Man from all
Power
the other
level
like
wise,
shows? Or like just in the way he's handled, I guess.
ooh,
Which I guess does count power.
oh yeah. Honestly, um, not like not very high regarding adapting actual Spidey, because if comic Spidey had snapped the sword and then she died, he'd have his head in his hands and he'd be like, "How could I have done this? Ah, my guilt, Uncle Ben." But regarding like getting shit done, you don't fuck with this one, mate. Like he'll saw you out.
I sort of miss Spidey's like this, where he's actually a force to be
Competent.
reckoned with. Yeah. You don't see it anymore. He's just too. I don't even know what the word is. Maybe just too
He's
passive.
mature. This one, Spider-Man nowadays, whether it's movie, cartoon, or even comics, he's too much of a clown. Well, Yeah, he jokes around, but that's just because he's got this handled. Like he can afford to joke around with the villains because he knows the second it gets real, he's gonna win. While Spidey nowadays, he'll like apologize to the baddie.
I'm sick of the high school setting.
Oh yeah, same dude.
The fact that we've gotten Tom's whole trilogy was in high school. Um, you had one movie of Andrew's in high school, one movie of Toby's in high school, basically.
Yeah,
But yeah, more often than not, even with the shows now, it's more often than not he's in high school.
I think we've hit the nail on the head where we say it's Spider Boy instead of Spider Man. He's not got his own opinions or not got his own like will anymore. He seems to be very beholden to what others either want him to do or think of him. In the MCU, Iron Man's dead by the second Spidey film, but he's still influencing every move he makes, to the point where there's not even an Uncle Ben. The new cartoon, Friendly Neighborhood, the second Norman Osborn finds out who Spider-Man is, he's basically Norman Osborn's attack dog. Like, he only does what Norman Osborn tells him to do. He's
I
got no
think
will of his own.
what annoys me is like we said we didn't want to see the origin, not that we wanted the origin to be completely omitted to his story.
Yeah, it's still an important part of him.
We didn't need to see it, but it doesn't mean like just to get rid of it. Like I don't understand why they did that.
This cartoon does not at all show the origin because we know what motivates him, we know why he's Spider-Man, and they just get on with it.
You know how hard that is to get that now? Because even like they promoted Tom's trilogy as you don't need the origin,
Yeah.
and then it turns out by the end of the trilogy, oh, this was a giant origin.
We've been watching the origin, yeah, just
Yeah,
mishmashed and shuffled about and obliterated.
it's just so tiring.
It's pretty shit.
I think it's because it's not hard to make a good adaptation. Like it's
What they should have done, I think the best way of doing the origin nowadays, because everyone knows it, the absolute best way of doing it is what Spectacular done. Use it as motivation during Peter's lowest moments for him to stand back up and go, no, I know what I've got to do. No, in Spectacular where the symbiote's beating him down and he kind of uses his own origin to bolster himself back up.
even the way like he knows what's gonna happen, but he has to be forced to live it again.
Yeah, because he knows it's important as well. It's an important part of his own character.
Can't wait to get to the spectacular show, just even for the
Oh, yeah.
Mysterio episodes.
Should
More
we
of
do that
the
when we're done
Spider-Man
with
one.
TNAS and then we'll loop around and we'll do the animated series episode 2, season 2?
We could do this show, season one.
Yeah.
Oh, there's only one season anyway.
Then we'll do season
And
2
then
of this show.
and then we can we'll do like the season ones of it, like the shows we want to look at, and then we can move to the season twos.
Sounds good to me.
So
Next.
what's your ranking then?
Yeah, I'd put this first. I'd put Sword of Shikata, Kingpin, not Lord of the Jungle, Law of the Jungle. And then, what was the first episode called?
We'll just call it Speed Race.
Heroes and Villains.
Oh, I missed though in the first episode where he had his camera
Yeah.
and he was just messing around with it, going like, "I'm Spider-Man," and he just starts talking to his camera.
What's your ranking?
I'm going this first. I like to
Yeah.
have Law of the Jungle second because just the
Ooh,
lizard.
that was pretty good.
I thought just the way it was like even pretty dark is, um, and then Bum 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 ba-dum, bum 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 bum
Need
ba-dum.
it, dude.
And then yeah, the wannabe rocket racer last.
The
MJ could
next
have died in that
episode
one.
in Rocket Racer.
Yeah, didn't she could have had like severe whiplash.
Yeah. And of the whole crowd, they just happened to grab Mary Jane again, dude.
Let me
Tension
see if
seeker.
I've got the DVD. If this
Ooh,
is
I think I've got him up
the
here.
episodes?
This says next episode is Keeping Secrets Now. I don't remember what happens in Keeping Secrets.
Is
We've
that
got.
when Harry dates that one girl?
Oh shit! It is Black Cat Talon.
Yeah, because of like, is that like the secret? Because then Peter know, and then
I think it is. I think you're bang on the money there. Keeping Secrets, and then Tight Squeeze is the one with the Vulturions. Head Over Heels is a fun one. The
is that when
Party,
the new
Flash
love
Memory,
interest gets in?
Tight Squeeze, yeah. You get an all new love interest for your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Oh, I can't wait for the Electro ones because they're really
Oh,
creepy.
scary Andy, mate, yeah. That's in 2 episodes. We've got Tight Squeeze. Oh no, 3 episodes. We've got Keeping Secrets, Tight Squeeze, and Head Over Heels. And then it's Electro time.
Is the one where he's like in the TV? Is that the second Electro thing,
Yeah,
or is it
that's right before the end when sparks fly.
that one? That was the one that scared me as a kid.
Yeah, mate, it's a scary one.
Him on the TV freaked me out.
Talking backwards like a horror movie. Nightmare.
Isn't it weird how like Electro and everything's always like different? Like Web of
Yeah, like
Shadows, he had a sister.
I want to know more
In
about
this
the Web
one,
of
there's a
Shadows one because he's dressed all like dishevelled, like he's homeless or something, and I want to know his backstory, like because he's treated as he's got a sister, so he's got like a human anchor. The PS4 one was a bit shit, I thought, how he just wanted to be electricity, like he wanted to not be human
it's like yeah,
anymore at
I
all.
feel like
So,
that's
well,
what
what then?
happened to because of the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon sort of did that trope. And it sort of sticked with like any basic form of Electro. He's like, I want to be pure power, and then even Shattered Dimensions had that.
Yeah. Oh, but that one was fantastic, dude. Biff Tannen himself as Electro. And Ultimate Electro just wanted money, didn't he? He was just a
Like
mercenary for Fisk.
only Biff Tannen could make Electro say "What a dork."
Make it work.
Yeah, it's the only way you could get him to say that.
My favourite Biff Tannen quote ever, mate, is in Back to the Future 2. Marty's spying on him through town, and a bunch of kids, like the football goes to Biff, and they go, "Oh, pass us the ball, pass the ball." And he goes, "Oh, you want the ball?" And he throws it on the roof, and he goes, "Go get it!" And then as he walks away, he goes, "He's incredible, mate." Oh, what a
But
legend!
it was the amount of crimes he committed in the movies was insane. If we count like all timelines as well for like
All
Back to the
time
Future 2 and
bits.
shit like that. So
Yeah,
like he didn't he like kill George or and then
yeah.
he tried to
He kills
kill
George.
Marty, then he
Uh,
basically forces Lorraine into a marriage.
yeah. He tries to sexually assault her in the first one.
Yeah,
He
multiple times.
Old Biff steals the DeLorean, so there's Grand Theft Auto in there as well.
There's
His son like
attempted
plant,
murder when
yeah,
you and Marty like first
several,
pushes him and then
yeah,
he's like chasing him with the skateboard.
and again in the tunnel in 2 with the hoverboard
Yeah.
where he sees him in the mirror.
Oh,
Manure!
that's the one that always pissed me off. How he's like talking normally right behind Biff
Yeah,
in
we can't
in
hear
the
him, mate.
car. And, yeah, for some reason he just the radio must be that fucking loud. He's like, Doc, I'm in behind Biff. Like, I can't talk too loud.
He's got
Would you,
classic 50s blaring, dude. You're right about Electro, though. He does seem to have the most varying performance.
yes, what a dork. We gotta watch Back to the Future soon.
Got it, mate.
Do you reckon, like, that's one of the best movie soundtracks?
Oh, yeah, mate, because it's immediately recognizable. Like, all you gotta hear is the first 2 seconds of even the little theme that plays when Biff's
Yeah.
chasing him before it goes into it. You're like, oh, that's Back to the Future. Or even just the, like, blah, bum, bum. You know what it's from. Without even getting into Power of Love.
Or even that, like, at the start of the very start of the movie.
Yeah, the little,
Like,
like,
every
twinkly,
time.
like,
Yeah.
yeah. Absolute belter, mate.
Well,
Fucking
actually,
love it.
Josh Keaton was in the cartoon, I think, which
Ooh,
technically means we could watch it for a Panel Pals.
looped it round. Don't mind if I do. Should we play the Telltale games as well?
Those are insane, mate. There's one where, like, Doc Brown is forced to be, like, this complete, like, submissive husband to this crazed old woman. Edna, I think her name was?
Right.
I actually thought it was cool that, like, in that they explored, um, Emmett's past, because you never did that in the properly
Yeah,
in the
it's
movies.
just a mad scientist, as far as we know, isn't he?
Yeah, so it's
The
cool to see,
Libyans.
like, Marty and him hang out when he was, like, his same age.
Ooh. I need to check these out then. Sounds good there. There is a comic as well, isn't there?
I haven't never really seen it, but yeah,
Ooh.
I think there is.
Surely. I'll have a quick Google. So yeah, Sword of Shikata, mate. It kicked ass.
Would recommend
Yeah.
to anyone.
Spidey was a good weapon in this. He kicked raw ass. Yeah, there's several Back to the Futures. 1991, 2015. Transformers Back to the Future. Hang on. Biff to the Future. That's the one, dude. Right, let's hope Discord actually recorded this. Up next depends on how good Discord did, I suppose. And Skype, if you're listening, we're sorry. Come home.
We miss you.
We
This
miss
isn't
you.
you.
Discord means nothing to us.